Three, two, one, and go. We are live. Welcome to the SmashLife Experience podcast. I'm your host, Michael K. Hughes. Today is episode number 8, and we have a very special guest. This is number 4. So today's special guest is a British citizen, but he's now living in northern Perth in Western Australia. He is a former, in the UK, a former academy and championship rugby league player. He then made a life-changing decision to take his life down under, like I say, to Western Australia. He then found CrossFit competitions, which we're going to go into in a minute, and now owns his own facility, is the owner and founder of the Human Performance Management. And I recently saw on Instagram, he's also the proud owner of a mystical triple-digit snatch. Welcome to the show, Mr. Daniel Mither Smith. Over to you.
Oh, afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world, Mike. You do more traveling than anyone I've ever known. Good to be honest, good to catch up. Obviously, the wonders of modern day technology. Obviously, we go way back to the JJB days where we both sort of discovered our love for fitness, and I think we've both evolved a little bit since then. And let's just clarify, that triple snatch was a while ago. Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Oh, was it? Okay. When was that?
Oh, mate, 18 months, maybe over, 2 years.
Wow. So what are you on now?
120 in a qualifier just after Christmas.
Behave. 120 kilos from the floor, yeah? Full snatch from the floor?
From the floor, yes. From the floor,
okay.
Yes.
We're going to get onto this later.
That wasn't too bad. I might have been carrying a little bit of festive weight from my trip to the UK over Christmas. Maybe that helped. But yeah, I've not done anything for a bit. Going back playing league for the past sort of couple of weeks, months. I've not done too much sort of lifting or anything. But hopefully be back around there next year.
Wow, mate, incredible. We were going to talk about this later on in the show. But what are your current PBs then? Snatch 120.
Snatch 120, clean 150, clean and jerk 140, back squat 200, deadlift 260, although I did hit that for 2, so I don't know 1 rep. Yeah. Bench is a bit hit and miss since the whole pec issues, but probably 130, 135 nowadays, so I don't do too much with my old man pecs, but
wow.
Yeah, it's not bad, it keeps me going.
Wow, mate, incredible. You've come a long way since, I can remember in the old JJB days back in 2006, 7. I think the Holy Grail was deadlifting 3 red plates, so 170. Wow, okay.
Tony and Moon those days.
Correct. Beautiful. Listen, let's go back a couple of steps then, back to the UK. So when did you move to Australia? What year was that? 2011. 11. Okay. And before that, 2011. You were playing Academy Rugby League though with Widnes?
Yeah, Widnes, and then moved to Rochdale,
which was championship.
My last 2 years were at Rochdale, yeah. Well, yeah, and then I moved to the second year.
You moved,
I moved over here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And a couple of cameo appearances for Liverpool John Moores University.
Oh, mate, they were the days.
Those are the days. As coach had to pull a few strings and get a few of the high-level contacts, draft them in, didn't I? Was that the year that we made it to the semi-finals of the National League? Was that the year that you played?
It was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I remember the trip back from Leeds when we went up there as well. That was a hectic night.
And New Zealand, as soon as we left the pitch and then New Zealand came on training, do you remember? They were playing Great Britain.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
There we go. I've also got written down, did you have a cameo appearance for GB Students or Bala or something along those lines?
I played against Great Britain. The first year I was in Australia, I played for the WA team against Great Britain when they were touring, right? Which itself was a bit of an interesting experience, obviously being English first year in Australia and then playing against Great Britain. As you can imagine, a little bit of shit for that, but yeah.
Any lads that you knew playing for Great Britain?
Well, Steve Macker and them boys were over.
Steve Macker,
from Widnes. We've got a picture in the Rockingham clubhouse. of me, John, and Steve. Yeah.
Nice. There you go. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Okay, so you're playing rugby league. You're in the UK, and then what was it? What was the deciding factor? What made you want to go for the better life in Australia?
Oh, for me, mate, it was beyond sport. To be honest, I'd probably say I was a little bit lost with a lot of things, as we both know. Like our whole sort of friendship group got through into turmoil back in the day.
Yeah.
Through losing one of our friends.
Yeah.
And from that point, I never really sort of got direction again. I sort of stumbled my way through playing at Rochdale and whatnot, and was going all right, was relatively fit, but just always felt like I never had an end goal. Like I could never see myself doing anything in 5-10 years. I didn't know that I could never see myself in long-term relationships, married, kids. I didn't know what I wanted.
Yeah.
So I took the opportunity to get an agent over in New South Wales at the time, and just took a risk, sort of threw my resume out there and was like, right, if this opportunity like presents itself, let's just go for it. Obviously, no money behind me or anything like that, but I think it was like a moment where I just needed to change something, because a period of time where I was doing stuff that I wasn't proud of. It wasn't giving me fulfillment throughout my day. I was just sort of drifting. Loved the guys I was with, loved what we were doing obviously at Rochdale, and was relatively fit going into that second year. But I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. I felt like there was more to me that I needed to explore, and there was more that I could give. That I felt like the more I just kept going around in circles, the less likely I was to achieve that. So I needed that sort of breakaway, take a risk. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't perfect. I was sleeping on a bench in New South Wales during that first year, but we'll come to that. But wow. It was just one of them things where it was like if this opportunity presents itself, I'll put my details out there, I'll put myself out there, then we'll try and get a deal, and I'll take it. Obviously, I didn't have money for flights, so it was dependent on a club coming through with flights, accommodation. Pretty big ask.
Oh, wow.
Luckily, they did. And then within the space of sort of 10 days, maybe, from getting the we'll do it, I was on a plane on Singapore Airlines on my way to Brisbane.
Yes, bro.
Come down to Canberra, drive from Canberra through to country New South Wales. And all that happened in a real short period of time from the right, let's do it. We'll take you, let's go. It was like, I think it was only when I was sat in the hotel in Cootamundra that I was like, oh crap, I'm in Australia. This isn't witness.
Wow.
That was a challenge itself, but I think it's one of them, with all life-changing decisions, if you sit and think about the pros, some people do, if you sit and think about it for too long, you're going to talk yourself out of it. You're going to give yourself 1,000,001 reasons why not to do these things.
Yeah.
And I think there comes a point in everyone's life, that a crossroads, where you've just got to go, right, I'm going to take this risk, and if it doesn't work, I'll learn from it. I'd rather do it and regret it than regret not doing it.
I'm going to hold on to that quote at the end. Mate, that's some story. Round of applause for that. That was beautiful, man. Incredible. Obviously, we're quite close friends, and I didn't know the detail of that. That was inspiring, man. I feel inspired. Let's go. So I'm going to hold on.
You used to get one of the houses in there when I was in Perth. We've had you played farm fit with the boys.
Oh, yeah. Correct, man. I'm going to hold on to that quote at the end. What was the quote at the end you just said?
I'd rather do it and regret it than regret not doing it.
Oh, I'd rather do it and regret it than regret not doing it. That's a golden nugget, man. I might even call. Oh no, we've got the title. We've got the title of this show. We'll hold on to that quote, though. I'll put that in the show notes. A couple of lessons. Of course, we're all about the stories and the lessons. A couple of things that sprung to mind for me was one of my favorite quotes from The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. And when you make a decision, the whole universe conspires in your favor to make it happen. So you decided. And then the second quote is, success loves speed. The universe loves speed. So you made the decision. 10 days later, you're in Brisbane, what's going on? Crazy, man.
What's going on?
Crazy. So
one thing I've learned over the past couple of years as well on the success thing, just following on from that, is that, especially now having the business, is success is limitless, in the sense of you're never going to get to a point where, right, that's it, I'm done. Or you never should. Yeah. You should always be pushing boundaries, pushing for that next thing, and never get comfortable. And that's one of the key sort of defining things with some of the successful people that I've studied, is they're always looking for ways to improve themselves and better themselves and those around them. It's the people that stop when they get to success, so to speak, that then become complacent, and lose that drive and lose that focus.
Beautiful. I like it, man. I like it. I don't know if do you follow Goggins, David Goggins?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, like, I think 2 days ago, he put like a video post on Instagram saying exactly that. Like, he told a little story that he was on a plane, an NFL player was like sat next to him. He said, how do you keep that dog that like fighting you? And he said exactly that. You just got to keep setting new goals, keep going. As soon as you think, right, I'm at a level, I've made it, or, you know, I'm comfortable or whatever, that's the death, man. It's the death of the soul, right? I like it, mate.
Exactly.
Listen to some absolute golden nuggets, but I do know that we're a little pressed for time, so let's keep pressing on. Incredible. So you made the decision. You're in Brisbane. It was scary making a decision, but you did it anyway. You're in Brisbane. The universe is supporting you. What happened next?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's all going well. Don't get me wrong. New South Wales was an amazing experience. Met some great people and whatnot. Wasn't fully what sort of well, didn't turn out exactly the way sort of I anticipated it to, in the sense of my time in New South Wales come to an end when I got made homeless and we got kicked out of where we were living because the sponsor of where we were living was actually involved with one of our rival clubs, and they were getting complaints and hassle about housing ourselves. And with us being like the imports, they made a little bit of a big deal about us being there, the back page of the paper. I mean, I posted it on social media at the time. It was awesome, but scoring against Tumit and whatnot, and yeah, that didn't go down too well. So it was at that point that we didn't have anywhere to live. So it puts a little bit of a dampener on the New South Wales East Coast experience. So I got to see places like,
and then you're homeless.
Yeah.
And then
that's it, mate. Played in Kiama on the coast. Went up to Q1 in Gold Coast. Did all that. Obviously Sydney. We went there to pick up one of the boys. Canberra.
Q1, for people that don't know, is Australia's tallest building, biggest hotel.
Yeah, the real expensive business, but that we didn't fit in there, man. Rugby league players in there did not fit in. But I mean, so there was all that to it. The East Coast, it was great from a I've been there, done it type perspective. But then to end like that and to be sort of sat on a bench in country New South Wales thinking, I flew 12,000 kilometres, like I've given up a decent-ish job, I've given up playing for Rochdale where I was earning a bit, like a good group of friends, and this is what it's come to.
Wow.
But there's always that sort of that drive that, right, well, I've given up this and I've made the decision, like, I'm going to ride this now. I'm going to go with this until I've physically got no more options. Yeah. Like, this is going to work one way or another. I'm going to make this work, or I'm going to run it dry to the point where there's nothing else to do and I can go back and say, right, well, I give it everything, and it wouldn't be a regret. It'd just be an experience. It'd be a story. I'd be sat in Widnes now, maybe telling this as opposed to Perth.
Yeah.
Luckily for me at the time, Isla's mum, Leah, who's my partner at the time, was working in Rockingham for a gymnastics club. So I jumped on a train at 1 a.m. from Cootamundra through to Sydney with no money. Can I say this? I'm not going to get pulled to this, am I? Very little money. And then managed to get from Cootamundra to Sydney to the airport. And then from the airport, obviously I was sweet. I had a flight that had been booked for me to come over to Perth.
Wow.
And then I stayed with Leah's bosses at the time for a little bit. I got on my feet went down to watch training at Rockingham. Met up with Rod at Rockingham, who was like, right, we'll sort this. They managed to pay Junie out for the flights that they put out for me, because obviously Junie weren't happy that I decided to leave, which is fair enough. Well within the right, stayed paid for my flights. I played a full season.
Yeah.
And Rod, the guys at Rockingham, paid that out for me.
Wow.
So that I could play for Rockingham. So I played for Rockingham to sort of chip away at that money. Yeah. And then about 5-6 weeks in, playing for Rockingham, I was struggling to get work. So I did a little bit of labouring here, little bits. And I remember I spoke to Stank and I was like, right, it's been a good experience. I've managed to get a run for the WA team against GB. It's been great, but it's not really working out now. Like, I've given up a lot. And we'd arranged for me to come back and actually play for Rochdale just before finals that year. Yeah. Because it was like, we tried everything to get a job. Nothing was working out. We were living with sort of Leah's boss and whatnot at the time. So there was no real way for us to, I mean, obviously at that point it was on a 12-month visa. So it's like, right, we go back before the end of the season. I play the finals and whatnot, and then a career moving forward, or we run this out till December and we don't know where we're going to be. So teed that up and then went playing against South Perth, who were one of the gun teams. We beat them, and I was having a conversation with one of the sponsors in the bar after the game, and he was like, "How are you finding it?" So I said to him, "Well, it's great, like loving it, but like financially, we can't sustain this, so we're probably going to be heading back." And then from that, I started work on the Tuesday with Franklin's, and the rest, as they say, is well, there's a lot that went on in between, as you probably know. But the rest, with regards to like the next 4.5, 5 years of going to Papua New Guinea and whatnot, offshore, onshore, oil and gas industry is history with regards to the employment side of things. Obviously, there was a whole whirlwind of events that went on in between in the personal life, but that career-wise and what sort of made Australia possible was chance. Obviously, putting myself in that position to meet those people, and making myself vulnerable and not having that conversation could have been completely different. My whole life could have been completely different if I'd have kept that ego that I had in the UK and like thinking that I could never make myself vulnerable and never admit defeat. If I'd have gone into that conversation with that mindset, it would have gone, "How are things going?" And I'd have probably gone to him, "Yeah, fine, it's tough, but it's the first year." And I'd have probably walked out of that club at South Perth, had a conversation, met a great dude, and then gone back to the UK in a couple of weeks after. But because I was open and just said, "Right, I've tried these things, like I've not been able to do it," admitted defeat to a certain extent and made myself vulnerable. Like I say, the universe presented that opportunity because I was willing to say things didn't work out, tried it. And it's amazing how things work out like that. Like just that one conversation and being willing to put yourself out there and make yourself vulnerable can change your life.
Wow. I wanted another round of applause, man. Incredible. One of the books that I just read recently called The Surrender Experiment. And you mentioned the phrase ego there. And oftentimes it's the ego that gets in the way, right? Yeah. And we like you said,
100%.
Great word there is vulnerability. And if you're open and willing to be vulnerable, and the whole world opens up, the whole universe supports you and opens up. Incredible, man.
Correct.
Incredible.
Correct.
Look, I've got written down, like a few things like challenges and lessons, but you've covered it all. That was an awesome stuff. Have you shared that before? Have you been on podcasts before?
No, obviously not to this depth with your whole Australia thing, I don't think.
Right.
I think it's more sort of, I probably wouldn't have been able to be honest, until probably this past 12 months has been for me sort of almost like an awakening to what's gone on, what I've learned from it, and realization of what each event sort of led to. So I probably wouldn't have been able to talk about these things in as much detail or I don't know, make sense of it in this way until you give it time to play out and realize that everything you've been through, like although there may be mistakes and whatnot, in time you're always going to take something from it and you're always going to learn something from it, I guess.
Mate, this is even like light bulbs for me. Like I'm hosting the show, but this is like I'm a listener as well. Exactly the same. I think we're the same age, aren't we? You're 32.
Yep.
Correct. Yeah.
32.
Same school age, same year in school, and I think it's not until a little bit later, like we are, that you look back and Steve Jobs. It's the classic quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. Is you can only connect the dots looking back. But it takes that time to kind of process everything that's happened and that reflection, that sort of reflective practice. And you're just like, you just see how everything just works out and everything links. And that's crazy, man. That's awesome. And it's, mate, well done. The way you've articulated that story was incredible. That was incredible.
That made sense for once, yeah.
Listen, I just quickly, before I forget, let's just have a quick little shout out. You did mention him there. We should have mentioned him when we spoke about Rochdale. Mr. Stankovic.
The man.
Shout out. What a guy. John Stankovic. We'll have to get him on. We'll have to get him on one time in future.
Yes. Yeah, you will. That'll be a story.
That's a story. He'll have his ring on, won't he? He'll have his ring on. And
also, the Bar Coco times.
Yes. Oh,
sure,
wow.
You'll be talking about your Bar Coco career.
Incredible. Or the time I went to Blackpool in fancy dress. More on that in a minute. Listen, Let's stay focused. So awesome story. A couple of key points there is it wasn't all plain sailing. It was up here, it was down here. You're on a park bench, you're homeless, you're nearly going home, you've got no money, you're getting over to Perth, somehow everything works out. Then you're nearly going back home to the UK, you've got no work. it comes down to this one conversation where you made the decision, step outside your comfort zone, be vulnerable, be open, and then a whole new world and a whole new life has opened up to you. Incredible, man. So in a nutshell, because I know that we are a little pressed for time, in a nutshell, the last 4 years, I'll start it off by saying you're training out there, you found CrossFit and jumped on this kind of wave, that this worldwide global phenomenon. In a nutshell, take it from there. You've competed a few times, correct?
Yeah, I've done a couple of comps, couple of events and whatnot.
Are they local or big ones, or?
I flew over to the UK the other year, did Rainhill, it's like a local one in the UK, did heaps locally here. During the past couple of years, finished 18th in the Open in the UK this year. So 18th fittest in the UK, because it's all country-based now, this year. Obviously, since then, I've gone back on the league field and whatnot, so my training's changed slightly. But the 4 years prior to getting into CrossFit, for me, with a lot of things that happened in my personal life around that time, and then a few silly injuries, I'd always obviously treated rugby league with the respect it needs, and professionally I'd always prepared well. I'd always took pride in my performance, and during that time, with everything that was happening, which I take full ownership for, in my personal life, I wasn't doing that. And although I was enjoying playing, I was picking up injuries, I was drinking quite a bit, and I was probably around the time maybe that you came over, and it wasn't the lifestyle that I could see being sustainable, or it wasn't something that I was aware I wasn't committed to. And for me, I have to be committed. Like, I'm committed when I go for something, and I'm disciplined, and it annoys me when I'm not. But I was in this sort of, let's take a backward step from being this guy who takes pride in his performance, because everything else is falling apart. Why not just let this? And then I come across CrossFit as a sort of like a strengthening process during the preseason, and sort of kept it up slightly when I was playing league. Yeah. And then there's a picture on social media of me and one of the boys when we training in my back garden, and I remember specifically that being the day that I thought to myself, right, I can either take CrossFit seriously as a sport, and I'm going to have to make X, Y, Z sacrifices because I'm that far behind on this sport, so I need to catch up. Yeah. And I do that with a lot of things. Or I can just keep doing this casually, maybe carry on playing rugby league a little bit and carry on the way I'm going. And I knew that, again, the way that I was going with everything else that had gone on and how things had sort of fallen apart in my personal life. Yeah. Like, I knew that I didn't want that. I knew I wanted to change the way things were going. And I knew I wanted more from this whole experience of being in Australia. So decided to take CrossFit seriously. And for me, it's like it's a deluded sense of what I can do. So I'm under the illusion that I'm always going to be good at something. So I'm going to commit myself 1,000% because I know that I need to get them 10,000 hours in order to be a master at this thing. And I'm not going to waste it by pretending that I'm a beginner, or even though I am, even though I'm an intermediate, I'm a beginner. When I first started, I couldn't hand off a bar because of my shoulder playing league. But for me, it was never an option not to give 150% and not to give it absolutely everything, because I have to. Like, I'm not willing to go half-assing something even though I'm a beginner. I'm going to train like I've been doing this for 10 years, and it's going to piss me off that there's a guy there that's been doing it for probably 10 years that's better than me, even though he's been doing it for this long and he's better than me, and as he should be. He's given them 10,000 hours. I don't see why you should be like, I need to beat that person, and it pisses me off when people are better than me in those things, but in the best way, like not in a I'm going to tear someone down. Like, it's a respect thing, and it's a motivator for me.
Inspiration.
And so that drove me during those sort of 3-4 years to explore what I was capable of within that community. Yeah. And the way that CrossFit was structured at the time, obviously with the regionals, the open and whatnot, it allowed athletes to progress from there, and gave them a base to do that. The sport as it evolved, obviously in recent times now, is moved away from, it's changing, it's evolving the sport of CrossFit, the sport of fitness and whatnot, and then being a gym owner and whatnot, my time is now split between obviously training, coaching, managing a business, being a dad, being a partner. and I had unfinished business with rugby league. So it's been in the back of my mind for the past 3 seasons that I didn't want to go out like that. Like, I want to stop playing rugby league because I stopped playing rugby league.
Yeah.
And it's a decision that's made not because I've let myself slip or not because of a negative stimulus or a negative influence. I want to finish playing on my terms and in the right mindset. I don't want to finish because I've let stuff outside of sport and outside of like that confinement impact it. If it's injury, whatever. But I don't want to stop playing the sport that brought me to Australia because I let everything else that was going on in my life dictate how I approach that sport, which essentially is sport I love and what brought me here. I still do CrossFit, and it's still what I love, the methodology that I love. But at the minute, like, rugby league is obviously my priority.
So on that, you're back playing for Rockingham?
And I'm playing for Joondalup, actually with some of the boys that play for Rockingham. Yeah, they're closest to, obviously being north of the city now, they're closest to where I am.
Nice. Okay, so let me just get this straight. So you had like a 3-year break from league. That was based on what? On personal life or what?
Yeah, me and sport. I'm not loving the sport. I'm not loving. There was no fire for me to get back and to do that because I was exploring the possibilities within CrossFit.
Right.
And I had that fire to do that. I had that drive to get up every single day and see what I was capable of and push boundaries within that performance. And that's something that I'm going to carry on for the rest of my life. It's a methodology that works for me, and I believe works for everyone in my facility. And it's adapt it obviously to any person, any situation. Moving away from the stigma that CrossFit brings sometimes is half the reason why my business is named what it is. But I believe that methodology in its purest sense is the most engaging for the public, and it's why we do what we do.
I like it. I'm going to come back to that in just a second. I'm going to finish, put that sort of piece of the story to bed by saying you got to an age where you realise that if you don't play league again soon, you're probably going to be maybe a bit too old to play at a high level.
I was waiting. And you know one of the main reasons as well? I wanted that one photo with Isla after the game or before the game. Like, I wanted Isla to see me play league, as much as she may not remember it or whatnot. Like, I've always thought how cool it was when the boys used to bring the kids to the game and like Woody's little ones were at the game. And like her having those memories of me as well, playing that sport, being in that environment, and her understanding sort of what brought me here is a big driver.
There you go. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. But like you said, I didn't mean that in a derogatory way about being...
Oh, no, I know.
You're never too old to play league, but at the level you're playing, you know, with all respect, you've probably only got another few years, and then you're probably going to be... Well, maybe you've not. I don't know. Maybe you can keep going. Maybe you'll defy the odds. Maybe having a 3-year break has let the body heal a little bit. And so maybe you could rewrite the history books. Saying, hey?
Yeah, I said it needed it. I was beat up, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, wow. But look, you know, there's something in that, definitely. You know, a lot of guys, a lot of blokes, to use an Aussie term, are retiring at sort of this age, 32, 33. But because you took that break, then that's going to add the longevity to your playing career.
Look at Mickey Hyam, 39.
There you go. Beautiful. I what I'm saying, all these ages, hey. But listen, so let's go back to the gym then. So that's league. You're back in league now, but you're still going to CrossFit, and you've opened your own facility. Now, it's not known as a CrossFit gym, and we spoke a little bit off camera before. It's called Human Performance Management. Do you want to go into that just a little bit?
That's what.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so obviously the idea behind the name is I didn't want my success to be dependent on another brand or another sort of methodology culture, hence why the CrossFit name isn't in there. Because obviously that fluctuates. Interest in CrossFit, up and down. I didn't want another brand's actions or, like I say, success to be have a direct impact on my brand. I mean, it will eventually. Obviously, people know that we do CrossFit here, so there is that association. There's no name of the term gym or train or anything in the name, and purely because, again, eventually I want to be able to offer more than just your gym floor, training sessions, PT sessions and whatnot from this facility. So I want to be able to offer a well-rounded product. I want to have that gym floor with the classes, the PTs, the individual sessions and whatnot. I want to be able to offer the pre and post training therapy from the small room. We've actually got a girl starting soon. And I've redone the upstairs as like a members room, because as we've both spoken about in the past, obviously I'm given our background, mental health for me is a big thing.
Yeah.
And I'm quite passionate about being open about that. And I'm quite passionate about providing a space for people to be open about that. So we've got that Beyond Movement, or I've got that Beyond Movement sort of string to this bow that we'll be looking at launching upstairs in the gym. And that's purely just going to be a space to get together, to have chats like this, and share stories, share experiences, and just get people to become healthier without actually having to break a sweat. So work on that sort of that balance away from the gym floor as well. And if it gets someone talking that wouldn't have spoke before, then perfect. It's my job done. If we can help one person open up that wouldn't have done before, even if they just sit in the room and listen and observe, then perfect. Because I'm more than willing to be the first person to go up there and share sort of what I've been through and all that, and hopefully that then leads to more people doing it. And I want to provide the space for people to do that. It's not a paid service. It's not anything we want to make any sort of money out of. Like, I don't give a shit about that. I want to impact rather than income in this type of thing.
Oh, wow.
I want to make an impact on income with that service and that particular method. Like, I'd rather be remembered 10 years down the line from someone for offering this and being there for people than, oh, I went to this gym once or twice. Like, there's kids that train here with their parents, and that's the best part of the day. So in 10 years' time, they're always going to remember the way that this place made them feel. And that, to me, is more important than anything. And that's the reason why we do what we do.
Mate, it's awesome. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I think one of the phrases that we use for the podcast is the next generation of human evolution. And I think that, I mean, you've obviously awakened to the fact that we are much more than just this physical body. And I think that the whole population, the whole world as a society, we're realizing it's not, you don't just go to the gym just to look good. It's lose a bit of weight, get a six pack. It's much more than that. And you're obviously one of the pioneers there, leading the way. So that's awesome. Beyond Movement, you call that?
Yeah, I mean, that all these ideas were birthed and built at some of the darkest points during the past, sort of that particular one in the past 6 months. But all these ideas and all these concepts have all been birthed from points where it had been easy to quit and easy to give up. And it's like the age-old saying, like, it's always darkest before the dawn, all that kind of stuff. And it's true. Like, all these ideas were created at points where it would have been easy to stop, walk away, or go grab a six-pack of Jim Beam and just get, well, a six would probably do me now.
A different kind of six-pack, yeah.
Yeah, well, so that Beyond Movement, that was sort of put out there around 3-4 weeks ago. Just a real basic information at the minute, like with the little Facebook page and whatnot. I'm looking to sort of host or launch like the first event, so to speak, in the back end of August. So the end of the footy season and whatnot, when all that's done and dusted, and just put it out there to the Perth community as like a free hour, 90 minutes or whatnot, where obviously with the upstairs now we've got the lounge area and whatnot, and just speak. Yeah. And basically, whether you want to call it motivational speaking or whatnot, whatever label people want to put on it, just a place for people to go and talk. And it's not something that I want anything from. It's purely just to get people open and to make an impact and hopefully turn things around, because there's too many people that post all over, like social media is. It's a shop window of everyone. It's like people will post all over social media about making a change and doing all this and helping people and whatnot. Like, and I'll do that, but I'll also back it up and give people the opportunity to come with me on that. So I'll put this out there and we'll host these events, and hopefully it gets people in and we can talk and share our experiences and share our stories and talk about strategies to overcome these things and setting our core values so when times are tough and shit does hit the fan, you've got those core values that keep you going through those times. And that's the whole idea behind it. It's purely just because I've needed those core values to get me through, especially like the past 2 years with the business and whatnot. Yeah. And how important they've been, having that support is all what I want to give people with that.
Beautiful. And on that point, that's a perfect time for us to transition over to, we call the second section, the SmashLife Blueprint. Okay. And these are quick fire questions. And the first question, perfect, links to what you just said, is 1 to 3 of your main core values and a quick why. So that links perfectly. What would you say those core values are?
Community, so family, friends, loved ones, the people, your tribe, your 4 or 5 people that support you thick and thin is the big one. Community.
Yeah.
Positivity in the sense of being able to take a step back from every situation and think, right, we can turn this around and we can put a positive spin on this. We can make something of this, regardless how negative or how dark that room is. You can make something of that situation, whether it just be taking one lesson away. So positivity is probably the next one. And the third one is resilience. So you'd be blown away for it to be able to push yourself to the point and how far, how long, and how much shit you're willing to take if you've got that why and that goal in place. Resilience is because it's not going to be easy. There's going to be times when shit goes wrong, so you have to be resilient with that, and that ties into your positivity and your community as well.
Beautiful. Community, positivity, resilience. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
Human performance management with Daniel Smith. Boom. I like it. Okay, quick fire then. One physical recommendation. Favorite exercise?
Favorite exercise?
Yes.
Deadlift, mate. Deadlift.
Okay, deadlift. One mental conditioning tool or a habit or a book or a podcast or something that springs to mind.
One tool. Before you go to bed, be grateful, show gratitude to at least one thing or one person or one event during every single day. One time, that's all you need to do.
Beautiful. Favorite food and why?
Oh, favorite food? Oh, shit. Oh, wow. Favorite food? Peanut butter, because I'm about...
Wow, that hit a nerve. Peanut butter. Anything to avoid? Food
People that tell you it can't be done.
Oh, okay. I meant food to avoid, but okay, I like that.
Oh, yeah, but then people as well, don't eat them. Yeah, anything to avoid. Oh, mate, it's food.
No, okay, good. And people that tell you it can't, naysayers, as Arnold calls it. Yeah?
Yeah, correct.
1 to 3 heroes or inspirations.
1 to 3 heroes or inspirations. Eric Thomas.
Beautiful. E.T.
Story. I love that story. Tiger Woods, his dedication and commitment to get where he got and how he got there during that time and that era during America. And myself.
Like it.
Because I'm the other one that's going to write my story and I want to be the hero of it. So.
Oh, wow. You're coming out with some golden nuggets today, man. Wow. 1 to 3 people or mentors who have had the biggest influence on you and why?
Biggest influence on me, my granddad. This is going to probably be real. Just his dedication, commitment, and love for his family.
Beautiful.
And my mum, because of the compassion and the way she would be able to find that positive in any situation and be willing to take a step back. And it's a skill that I've only really developed over the past 12 months, is be able to take a step back and think and not just react. And it sort of try and see things from both sides. So both family members, so probably look at someone away from that next. And this will be a throwback. Roger Harrison for the discipline.
What?
Because I remember under 11's town team being obviously the fat kid and having to carry him up the hill on the golf course and whatnot. And even though I struggled through every single conditioning drill, just that discipline and that structure has sort of stayed with me for the rest of my life, because obviously going into that season being the overweight fat kid, it's expected to not get through those conditioning and those fitness drills. But I think that sort of the way they went about things meant that I did. And from that, I took that with me then through the rest of my sporting and life, to be honest. Roger Harrison, there's a throwback again, eh?
For anybody that doesn't know, Roger Harrison is the former Widnes town team coach, correct?
Yeah.
And he, I now believe, is one of the joint directors of Widnes as well. Yeah.
He's recently got. He's in that
consortium.
The consortium that's took over the Vikings.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Witness legend Roger Harrison, shout out. I like it. Okay, last couple then is, I mean, this could be a whole podcast in itself. Best 1 to 3 experiences. Let's keep it short though.
Best experiences. My daughter being born.
Yeah.
Realizing that I own my own gym, that realization. And the Christmas just gone, being able to sit back and be with family again, with no drama, no stress, and take it all in and be present. And I think it's for the first time. So my daughter being born, realization of owning my own gym, and just taking a step back at Christmas and just realizing that I was with family and with everyone and taking something from that.
And how far you've come and all the ups and downs along that journey. Beautiful, man.
Yep.
Beautiful. Worst experience and what you learned from it?
Worst experience within this past 8 years, or just life in general?
Any.
So, worst experience, without a doubt, the phone call when we lost Tom.
Yeah.
And that feeling in itself is, again, is a reference point, and still bear with me now, and still gives you that sort of sick feeling in your stomach of, right, this can all be over in a second. Like, we need to do something now with what we do. And I needed to find a way to impact people to hopefully stop that happening or limit that happening to other people. And so that, although it's the worst and it's something that many people go through, and that gut-wrenching feeling is something that have kept with me and kept me driving towards hopefully being a change for at least one person with what we do.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Like you said, sometimes your darkest hours that come the biggest breakthroughs, and sometimes it's in the dark that we see the light, and that's beautiful, man. Beautiful. Anything that you would change over the past? Anything that you would change or done differently?
Well, how do we keep this PG? Well, no, in the sense of, like I say, looking back, I'm confident that looking back on this in 5-10 years' time, everything will make sense, and we'll be able to connect the dots and say, this is why. Don't get me wrong, I wish I'd have treated people different throughout that journey and being more honest and open at times, because I wasn't, and I wasn't a good person to be around. But looking back, that's all going to lead me to where I need to be to make the biggest impact I can. So I do wish I treated people different and was more honest earlier on, but hopefully that's going to lead me to become a better person and make the impact that I believe I can.
Beautiful, man. Learning lessons all the time, and don't repeat mistakes, and keep evolving, keep moving forward, keep evolving. Awesome. It's been an awesome episode so far. Last couple is your SmashLife superpower. What is your one unique ability?
My one unique ability is that I'll get it done and I'll achieve my goal one way or another. So even sat on a bench in New South Wales, I was going to own a gym. When we were at the JJB 12 years ago, no hope of doing it, no money, nothing. I was going to get to a point where I own a gym. There'll be times along the way when you're off track and it's in the distance and it may get further away. But keep moving forward, keep that goal in mind, keep it written down, and you'll get there one way or another. You'll find a way if you just keep through with that goal and your core values.
Beautiful. I've got written down. I'll just link a bit that we missed from before. One of the things that I love about your story is, and this is for other people that are watching, and maybe in particular younger sort of age millennials, like people that are sort of like mid to sort of late 20s, or maybe even a bit younger than that. Is that almost all successful people in the world are just normal sort of everyday people that had a dream, saw a vision, and went for it and just made it a reality. And you are like one of the ultimate, one of the best stories for that and making that happen.
The biggest one with it is go and fail repeatedly, go and fail. And that's what people won't do now, because we live in a world where everything's perfect. Social media will hammer you with perfect images, perfect bodies, perfect nutrition plans. Dickheads who've never done anything with their life selling your crap on Instagram. Go and fail. You don't see all that on social media. So we live in a world now where it's easy to believe that everything is good and everything's right and everyone can have everything. You can't. You have to work for it. You have to fail. You have to learn, and you have to move through that period. It's not all Instagram likes and fucking Facebook hashtags and all that kind of crap. You are going to go through those failures. And that's the thing. Seek out failure. Put yourself in those positions where you're going to fail because you'll grow. And it doesn't need to go all over. It doesn't need to be influenced by anyone else but yourself.
Love it. I love it, man. I want to also add to that, just talk about a couple of experiences really quick, just to show people that we are normal people. We don't just live like monks all of the time. Got a couple written down. Magaluf 2010. Couple of shout outs. Roper, Pauli, Danny Sam, Big T. What a trip. Also, Dublin UFC 2009.
We had a good time.
Wow, incredible.
Didn't lose money the first day.
Yeah, lost all the money. What was it? You, me, Gaz, Tony, and Leon. Yeah, what a trip.
Or whatever it was. And there's about 3 people in there.
That was the first ever UFC in Dublin. Incredible. Guinness factory, pouring our own Guinness.
It makes good stories, though. But that club we were in was terrible.
Club N, yeah, it was terrible.
Terrible, that was good, but that club was terrible.
So, look, I just wanted to touch on those really quick to show people that we're normal people. You don't need to live like a saint, with nutrition and training and all this kind of stuff. It's about finding a balance or a harmony and having that nice mix in life of focus, hard work, dedication, but then also you can let your hair down and enjoy and go and travel and experience the world as well. Beautiful. Final 2 questions is, when it is all said and done, there is often more said than done. At SmashLife, we endeavour to be doers, not commentators. Seizing the moment and every opportunity. You are a testimony to that. With that said, Mr. Daniel Smith, what is your number 1 top tip to SmashLife?
Like I said, seek failure because you'll grow from it.
Beautiful. I love it, man. And look, I say it genuinely from the bottom of my heart. We stay in touch, a little bit via social media. But our last real time that we spent a lot of time together was back, I was in Australia 2014. And I think you had a cameo appearance in the UK, I think around 2000.
Yeah, but it was always like passing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we trained together in a gym, but nothing major. But this conversation, man, from a couple of years ago, you're rising, you're evolving through those levels, man. It's inspiring. It's inspiring to see.
We'll keep going. We'll keep moving on. We'll see where we go.
There we go. Listen, to finish is 3 recommendations to bring on to the podcast. We've already got one, is Stankovic. Another recommendation, maybe somebody over there that you could connect me to that's got a good story, a coach or an athlete or something like that, maybe.
Big Ray, the Canadian guy that I train with, he's currently in Canada, married to an amazing Australian girl, Brooke. He's waiting on his visa to come back through. He's got an incredible story of overcoming addiction, working through that, helping people. Obviously, he's now a high-level CrossFit athlete and coach, achieving crazy things. Hopefully he'll be back over here within the next couple of months. Once all his visa and everything's gone through. But Ray Hodgkins, I'll tag him in the video as well. After this, a real good one.
And a global superstar. If we could have anyone on the show, anyone.
Oh, well, surely we're going to have to tag someone like Eric Thomas then and see if we can get him talking.
Wow. Imagine. Okay, I like it. Look, a quick recap is Mr. Daniel Smith, you've gone from Academy and Championship Rugby League in the UK. You made the life-changing decision to depart and emigrate, is that correct phrase? Emigrate to a new life down under. You've had your challenges, you've had your ups and downs, your setbacks, but through it all, you held the vision, trusted the process, you took massive action, and now it's all come to fruition. You're a proud owner and founder of the Human Performance Management. Thank you very much for the show. Thank you very much. Congratulations for everything you're doing. Well done. And I look forward to chatting again soon.
Yeah, let's not leave it so long next time, Mike.
Correct, man. Correct. And just a quick outro. Guys, remember, this is the SmashLife Experience podcast. My name is Michael K. Hughes. Together, we are shifting the global paradigm of human potential and elite performance. Our aim is to educate and inspire you to take action so that you can transform. This is the next generation of human evolution. Wherever you are, whatever you're up to. Thanks again to Daniel. Appreciate it. Peace out. All the best.
That's all right.
Goodbye.
Bye.